You're not depressed, not exactly. You're not broken, not completely. You just look at your life and feel nothing fits right. Like you're wearing someone else's clothes, living someone else's schedule, chasing someone else's definition of a good life. And the scariest part isn't that you're failing, it's that you're not. By every outside measure, you're fine. But inside, there's this hollow thing, this quiet voice that keeps asking the same question you keep refusing to answer. Is this it? So you do what lost people do. You rewatch a show you've already seen. You make plans you don't follow through on. You start a new hobby, a new routine, a new version of yourself. And 3 weeks later, it's just another tab you closed. Maybe you journal. Maybe you go to therapy. Maybe you try the 5 a.m. routine because someone on YouTube said it would change your life. And it helps. A little. For a week. Maybe 2. Then the fog comes back. Because here's what nobody wants to say out loud. You're not lost because you lack discipline. You're lost because you've been optimizing your life for other people's approval for so long, you genuinely don't know what you actually want anymore. You built the resume they respected, took the path that made sense on paper, smiled in the photos. And somewhere in all that performing, you went missing. A Roman emperor, a man drowning in power, politics, and the weight of an entire civilization on his back, wrote this to himself at night. Confine yourself to the present. Not to your past mistakes, not to your future anxiety, not to what you should have done at 25 or where you need to be by 40. The present. This moment. This choice. He wasn't writing it as advice for the masses. He was writing it because he kept getting lost too. The most powerful man in the world, still lost. Still had to remind himself every single night. That's not a failure of character. That's the human condition. And the Stoics built an entire operating system around this one insight. You are not lost because life has no direction. You are lost because you keep trying to navigate using someone else's compass. Here's what this actually looks like in real life. You're 28, or 35, or 41, and you look at your peers, the ones who seem certain, the ones who post about their purpose like they've had it since birth. And you feel behind, defective, like everyone got a map, and yours got lost in the mail. Stoic move. Those people aren't more found than you. They're just louder about the story they're telling themselves. Certainty isn't the same as clarity, and confidence isn't the same as direction. You quit something, a job, a relationship, a dream, and now you're in the gap, that uncomfortable white space between who you were and who you're becoming. And the gap feels like failure. Stoic move. The gap is the work, not the obstacle before the work. The actual work. You don't know your purpose, and everyone keeps telling you to find your passion like it's a lost set of keys. Stoic move. Stop searching for who you are. Start deciding. The Stoics didn't believe you discover your character. They believed you build it, one decision at a time, under pressure, when nobody's watching. You're not lost because you haven't found yourself yet. You're lost because you're waiting for permission to become yourself. Nobody's coming with that permission. Nobody ever was. The fog doesn't lift because you finally figure everything out. It lifts, slowly, partially, when you stop outsourcing your life's direction to other people's timelines, other people's expectations, other people's definitions of a life well lived. It lifts when you make one small, honest decision that's actually yours, then another, then another. That's not a revelation, that's a practice. And it starts in the next 60 seconds of your life, not when you feel ready, not when the path is clear, not when the fear goes away. Now. Being lost isn't a sign that you failed. It's a sign that you've been honest enough to notice the life you're living isn't fully yours yet. That's not a crisis. That's the beginning. The most dangerous person in the world isn't someone who's lost. It's someone who's lost and decided to stop looking. You're still looking. That means something.